Yeah, hi. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. This is a short video to say that Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley should not main event WrestleMania. I basically mentioned this a bunch of times in my Raw, SmackDown reviews, basically wrestling reviews in general in regards to WWE, and whenever Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley is on. I'm just here to make a claim, basically make. I should have done this video a while ago, but it's like I just didn't have the time. But I'm just mentioning now. Just to make it clear, Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley should not main event WrestleMania Night 1 or whatever the fuck it was. No women's main event should main event in general in WrestleMania because every time when women main event WrestleManias, no one gives a shit. It doesn't draw ratings. It doesn't draw any attention, whatever, besides to fucking smarks or, white knights, fat neck, bigger mongoloids who are just, they're just a bunch of neck beards that are trying to appeal. They're trying to, make them see, like they claim they're feminists and shit like that. But they're secretly they're just trying to fap to women, even when they're not attractive at all. Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley should not main event WrestleMania. First of all, there's no story for much of story besides the Charlotte beat me 3 years ago type of deal. There's no reason for it to be at WrestleMania as the main event WrestleMania. There's no real heat to the feud to be a main event towards WrestleMania. Okay, aside from again, because first of all, let's be honest here. This is not being sexist. This is the truth. The women don't draw. No one cares about women's goddamn wrestling unless you're a fucking smart, a fat neck, you're Mongol. You're either a cuck, a faggot, a fucking, a feminist and shit like that, or you're just pretending to care about women's wrestling because you're trying to get laid. When and you're a white knight. When in reality, you're not gonna get laid. No woman gives a fuck about women's goddamn wrestling. Okay, a hot chick doesn't give a shit about women's It's literally women's wrestling, literally equivalent to the WNBA. Okay, should not mean event WrestleMania ever. Stop fucking saying that it should or whatever. Another reason, obviously, is because, for God's sakes, like, when you compare this feud, when there's, like, no heat, like, why should it main event? Tell me, like, why? Oh, because Ripley won the Women's Royal Rumble. With that analogy, why didn't guys like Shawn Michaels win the Royal Rumble when he won it originally? Why didn't freaking, Stone Cold main event WrestleMania 13 when he won the Rumble? Why didn't Mr. McMahon main event the Royal Rumble? I get all the storylines, but even why didn't freaking, let's say, why didn't freaking, Rey Mysterio main event WrestleMania as the Royal Rumble winner? Why didn't Undertaker main event WrestleMania as the Royal Rumble winner? Why didn't John Cena main event Royal Rumble winner back in WrestleMania 24? List goes on and on and on. What should mean, it's really just guaranteeing you a title match. With that analogy, come on, with that analogy, it's been debunked many times that not always you need the Royal Rumble winner to main event WrestleMania. The match that has the most intrigue should main event WrestleMania. And that's the problem with them doing 2-night WrestleManias. That's the fucking problem with them doing 2-night WrestleManias, and you're gonna have this fucking problem where, you're gonna struggle with which should main event night 1 or night 2. And this gives this bullshit to try to give them an excuse to try to have the women, but it doesn't draw. You're charting your show. It doesn't help when, again, it's a channel changer. No, it's like basically saying we're gonna turn off the TV early, and not just that. People are gonna beat the traffic. No one fucking cares about women's goddamn wrestling. It's not like they're hot or whatever and shit like that. I don't give a fuck though because they're wrestling ability. No one cares about women's goddamn wrestling. It's literally equivalent to the WNBA. I'm sorry, it's the fucking truth. What people care about is storyline, characters, and actual good matches that has a story. The match that has most story that should be the main event night 1 is the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Because just by their build alone, if even you're not the fans of them, their build is more intriguing and it has been the most built to be the main event for night 1. We already know Cody versus Roman is going to be the main event night 2 because But like you're not. The reason why that's going to be the main event, aside from just it being the Royal Rumble winner, is because, Reigns is the main eventer. He's the top champion. There's a reason why John Cena main event WrestleMania 23 because he was the top star at the time and shit like that, okay? If you, for example, do you want another one of the scenarios where the Royal Rumble winner does not always works to be in the main event? Look what happened when freaking Look what happened when guys like Triple H versus Chris Jericho main event at WrestleMania after Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania 18. Look at Triple H versus Randy Orton main event WrestleMania after Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. You know, imagine Edge and Chris Jericho main event WrestleMania 26. Like Edge didn't win a shot to be. He won the fucking Royal Rumble, but he didn't main event WrestleMania at that year WrestleMania 26. Same thing with Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus. Fucking the list goes on and on and on. Well, not every time you win the Royal Rumble. I mean, whoever wins the Rumble should, sure, yeah, but it's been debunked, and plus it's not always the case sometimes. And let's be honest here, it's not like fucking, sure, with those occasions, but it's like those matches that sometimes were not the main event were not the biggest matches to do as main event matches. Okay? It just weren't. It just weren't and that's the problem with also with this whole feminist mentality, this whole fucking SJW argument that the women should get a chance to main event. No, it's not intriguing to be the main event. First of all, and it's like, come on, like no one cares about women's goddamn wrestling. It's literally a bathroom break. Still, it still doesn't draw for shit. It's gonna make people fucking leave the show early. I'm sorry, who fucking cares? Okay. So no, the women should not main event ever. Should not main event fucking WrestleMania 39. This was the same bullshit that people want to see. Women main event WrestleMania 38 night 1. Thank God Stone Cold came back. But yeah, come on. Compared to the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which has been one of the big storylines going on, like the long-term storyline with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, and even Kevin Owens be involved, you really want that to not be the main event for night 1? Like when it's like one of the biggest storylines been going on, like the Bloodline is one of the biggest storylines going on in WWE, and you're saying that fucking Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley should main event instead because of political reasons. What political reason? Again, the political reason only with that argument is because they're women. It's to appeal to these feminists, the SJWs, to appeal like, see, women are making history. See, the women are doing all this shit. But in reality, who fucking cares? Fuck the women. I love women. I love fucking women and dear. I love making bitches go shit, but not unattractive cunts. But seriously, like, who fucking cares? Who cares about these unattractive She-Hulks? The only reason why they're also doing this shit is because also apparently like Charlotte, she has an ego, like, which I do believe because she looks like a cunt and whatever. I'm not saying like like it's always her fault, but it's like she does have an ego in terms of like she wants to be the main event and shit like that, all that kind of shit. So I'm sorry, no bitch, no one cares. No one cares about women's goddamn wrestling. Sorry, you might as well have just stayed being a man when you were originally transitioned or whatever. It's the fucking truth, man. No one cares about women's goddamn wrestling. Should not be main eventing the show. There's no reason besides the smart saying, because the Royal Rumble bullshit. Because that's just a cop-out excuse. But give them a chance. I don't give a fuck. That's bullshit. Who gives a shit? I'm sorry. I don't care. Have things that make sense be the main event. There's a reason, like, Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold made more sense be the main event than Charlotte and Ronda. If fucking Stone Cold did not came back and that was not the main event, I guarantee your show would end it on legit low tier. And look what happened to the match last year. The match was fucking boring and terrible last year. So what does that tell you? So who cares? I'm happy that fucking the idea of perhaps Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos is gonna probably be the main event night 1. Thank God, it should be. Okay, I want to say people. Till next time, peace. Yeah, bye. I'm just keep real. Get your games called. Bye. I miss Bitsko shit. Alright, till next time, peace. Yeah, bye. Not to them She-Hulks, okay? Fuck women's wrestling.